Hello and welcome to your Wednesday episode of the Arrowhead Drive. I'm Pete Sweeney. Let's start your morning with today's outlook on the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's what you need to know for Wednesday, September 21st.
I'm in a good mental space, man, so that when you take care of your mental, it puts you in a position to where everything else handles itself, and come to work in a good mood. Even if it's not always the perfect day, I know how to get myself right. And like you said about the season, man, it carries over, and next thing you know, I'm having good practices. Next thing you know, it carries over into the games and making plays. And everybody, just thinking it's because of preparation, but really it's just because, it's all a step each and every day, each and every week to be good mentally, and work on my mental and myself. So.
Yeah, it's not a positive one, but the biggest story ahead of the Chiefs' Week 3 contest against the Indianapolis Colts is the 4-game suspension of Chiefs linebacker Willie Gay Jr. Gay's suspension stems from the misdemeanor property damage arrest that occurred in January. That clip you heard was from Gay speaking with the media about a month ago ahead of the start of the season. Gay has been open about some of the mental obstacles he's had in the past and has spoken publicly multiple times about the importance of maintaining his mental health. Through 2 games, Gay has not only looked like one of the Chiefs' most improved players, but like he could be one of the most important players on the defensive side of the ball. To put it frankly, the Chiefs just don't have another linebacker who can play in coverage and cover ground the way that Gay can with his elite speed at the linebacker position. Gay is eligible to return to the active roster on Monday, October 17th. That's the day after the Chiefs' Week 6 matchup with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, so all our guys, the guys that we had mentioned before, we're getting treatment, but we just got to see. I mean, that's what it is right now. I mean, it's kind of wait and see. They're busting their tail to get everything right, but let's just see how this week goes. And every day he's making improvement, and that's important. So.
We should get a more clear update from Andy Reid later today as the Chiefs return to the practice field to prepare for their Week 3 matchup in Indy. Players to watch include kicker Harrison Butker, who's dealing with that ankle injury suffered in Week 1. Wide receivers Mecole Hardman and Justin Watson are both dealing with injuries stemming from the Chargers game. And Chiefs defensive end Mike Dana also left their Week 2 contest with a calf injury. We'll have more injury updates as the first official injury report of the week comes out later today at arrowheadpride.com.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's in the eye of the official there, what they consider. I know that they've called it against us before, so I wasn't sure exactly what way that would go, but thought maybe they would go in the direction for us, but it didn't work out that way. And it might have been a little bit because Kels tried to jump and get himself. He wanted to score there, so it might have looked, that position that the defender had on him. Wasn't that he literally just picked them up. It was Kelsey kind of helped him with getting up there, and then you still had the slam, which probably didn't have to take place like that. But kind of in the eyes of the official there and what they deem it. But I do know we've been called for that.
Big Red played it safe when he was asked about the lack of penalty on Los Angeles Chargers safety Derwin James when he body slammed Travis Kelce during Thursday Night Football. Reid's been around long enough to know criticizing the officials at the podium doesn't really get you anywhere except fined by the league. Even a multimillionaire like Reid doesn't want to simply give away money, but the Chiefs will play the Chargers again on November 20th, and WWE moves or not, it will be a possible season-defining matchup between the two teams who look to take the crown of the AFC West.
I will tell you, we look forward to the challenge of playing the Colts, and I know what their record is. You can put that aside. This is their first game back at home, and they've got good talent and good coaches. So we need to have a good week of preparation going forward. And as you saw, or as we all saw yesterday with that day off, that anything goes on any Sunday. So I mean, the parity in this league is unbelievable right now, and I know the league strive for that, and they sure look like they've got it. And so you better prepare yourself every week for a knockdown, drag-out battle.
The Chiefs are 2-0 after a lot was made about the difficulty of their first 7 games. That leaves 5 wins to go. If they were to go 7-0. This Colts game was one that we expected to look a little tougher on paper heading into Week 3, but things have kind of been a disaster for the Colts through 2 games. They tied the Texans in Week 1. then got shut out by the Jaguars in Week 2, and Matt Ryan has thrown just 1 touchdown to 4 picks through 2 games. Ryan was expected to be a significant upgrade over last year's starter in Carson Wentz, but through 2 games, looks like maybe Ryan was a downgrade. So we'll see if he can turn it around against the Chiefs. It's worth mentioning that the Colts were missing 2 starting wide receivers against the Jags, including budding star wide receiver Michael Pittman. They've also been without superstar linebacker Shaquille Leonard through the first 2 games, and there's a case to be made. He's one of the best defensive players in football. The Colts still have elite talent in star running back Jonathan Taylor, and we'll see if Pittman is a go in Week 2. Though it's not really going to plan so far for head coach Frank Reich through 2 games, the Colts really are a team that still shouldn't be overlooked.
He can give you just about anything statistically that you need, and percentage of success in certain areas on whatever situation that you're talking about. I mean, it could be as simple as things that a team does on 1st and 10. So, and then their success rate, run pass, what personnel groups are best, you know. He gives us quite a little book there of stuff that we can look at.
Andy Reid spoke at length this week about the Chiefs and their utilization of analytics. Listen, we know the Chiefs fans right now don't exactly love Pro Football Focus at the moment, but the head coach acknowledged the Chiefs do utilize those numbers to try and weigh in on game situations. More and more teams are leaning heavily into the analytical side of football. At the very least, it's nice to know that Andy Reid understands that falling behind could mean you're giving up an edge that another team can exploit.
They were all game. They were playing one coverage, and out of nowhere, they threw me with a shell coverage with the corner who had been playing, just kind of getting out of there the whole time. He dropped down to play cover 2, and so it got me. I don't throw it just straight to guys most times, and so, but got lucky enough that it bounced around, hit the ground, and I was able to get another chance at it. I'm sure PFF will have me with a low grade for that, but I'll keep it rolling.
If you recall all the way back to last Thursday night, Patrick Mahomes acknowledged he likely wouldn't have a good PFF score after Week 2. All that matters is the Chiefs continue to win, and we all know Mahomes is going to have some better statistical weeks this season than others, probably this week against the Colts. That's it for the Arrowhead Drive for Wednesday, September 21st. If you've enjoyed the Arrowhead Drive, please subscribe to the entire Arrowhead Pride Podcast Network, and while you're there, leave us a rating and a review. Coming up later today, it's a new edition of the Great British Chiefs Show as Brad and Tom take our first deep dive preview into the Colts. As for me, that's a wrap for now. I'm Pete Sweeney. We'll catch you on Friday for the next edition of the Arrowhead Drive.